If I told you that one of the most powerful skincare products ever created, known to man, costs less than your morning coffee and has been trusted for over 150 years, would you actually believe me? So that little blue jar sitting in your bathroom cabinet isn't just your grandmother's beauty secret, it's a dermatologist-approved powerhouse that can solve 5 major skin problems that you're probably dealing with right now. And we cover how to heal cracked heels overnight, calm irritated skin after hair removal, prevent painful chafing, and soothe eczema flare-ups, and not only that, to help heal your wounds much quicker without scarring. These are not just beauty hacks, they're actually evidence-based solutions backed by modern dermatology. Now, the first use is what the internet calls slugging, but I prefer to call it the ultimate overnight skin transformation. So if you've ever woken up with like dry heels, so dry that they actually snag your sheets or your hands that feel like sandpaper, now this particular technique will change your life. So here's the science that makes this so incredibly effective. Vaseline is what dermatologists call an occlusive agent, which means it creates a high physical barrier that prevents nearly 99% of transepidermal water loss. Now that's a technical term for moisture evaporating from your skin. So when you have severely cracked heels or rough hands, your skin is literally losing moisture faster than it can retain it. So by applying generous layers of Vaseline and covering it with cotton socks or gloves, you're creating what we call a mini sauna effect. The warmth from your body and your skin, combined with this particular occlusive barrier, forces moisture back in those hardened dead layers of skin. So it's like giving your feet and your hands an intense hydrating therapy session that lasts throughout the entire night. Now do this particular treatment 2 to 3 times a week, and within just a few applications, you wake up with a noticeably softer and nicer, smoother skin. For really stubborn cracks, you can gently exfoliate first and then apply a Vaseline after that. The results rival expensive spa treatments, and all of this from a product that costs less than $5. Now, number 2 is a lifesaver for anyone who regularly removes body hair. Now, whether you have just had your eyebrows threaded, your legs waxed, or even dealing with razor bumps after shaving, Vaseline can be your skin's best friend post-recovery. Here's what actually happens when you remove hair. You're not just removing the hair itself, you're also disturbing the top layer of the skin known as the stratum corneum. Now, this is the protective layer on your epidermis. So what happens is this area now becomes inflamed, it becomes red and vulnerable to bacteria and irritants. Now think of it like removing the protective coating from a wire and suddenly everything underneath the wire is exposed. Now when you apply a thin layer of Vaseline immediately after hair removal, you're essentially creating a temporary replacement for that protective barrier that your skin just lost. It acts like a secondary skin that shields the raw area from friction, from bacteria, and from environmental irritants, while your natural barrier repairs itself. So the key is just use a very thin layer of Vaseline on a completely clean and dry skin. Now, best news is Vaseline is non-comedogenic and hypoallergic. It means it doesn't clog the pores and it doesn't cause any additional skin irritation. Apply it right after hair removal and reapply throughout the entire day for the first 24 hours. You'll see a significantly reduction in redness, reduction in inflammation, and those dreaded ingrown hairs will be far less likely to develop. Now moving on to number 3, and this one is for any runners, hikers, or anyone who experiences those painful reality of chub rub or exercise chafing. When your skin rubs together or against fabric, it does ruin your workout on your entire day. And this technique is about to be your new best friend. Chafing is essentially a friction burn that happens when your skin repeatedly rubs against one another or against fabric. So what starts off as a little bit of redness can quickly progress to very raw, painful patches that burns and sometimes even starts to bleed. Athletes have known about this problem for decades, but no one actually have developed a solution for it. So that's why a lot of marathon runners often talk about prevention strategies. Now, Vaseline works as a perfect chafing prevention tool because it acts as a low-friction lubricant between the surfaces. And when you apply it to areas prone to rubbing, like your inner thighs, your underarms, or anywhere where the fabric comes in contact with friction, you're creating a slippery barrier that allows surfaces to glide on top of one another smoothly rather than catch and tear. And the application is simple but important. Use a generous layer on clean, dry skin before you start to get dressed or before you start your activity. And don't be shy about the amount. You want it to feel slippery to touch. Now, it gradually wears off over time with movement, but typically lasts up to several hours. So whether you're running a marathon or just wearing a summer dress on a hot, humid day, your skin will thank you for this simple prevention step. Number 4 is now crucial for anyone dealing with eczema, rosacea, or highly sensitive skin. Now, if you've ever had that moisturizer or lotion sting on your skin and it causes more irritation than relief, now, this particular method can genuinely save your life. Many commercial lotions and moisturizers contain fragrance, preservatives, essential oils, and other additives that can cause the stinging or allergic reactions on your skin. Vaseline, on the other hand, is hypoallergenic and contains only just one ingredient, pure petroleum jelly. It doesn't penetrate the skin, it simply just creates a protective seal on top of your skin. But here's the secret that makes this technique so effective. Timing is everything. You need to apply Vaseline within the first 3 minutes of stepping out of the shower while your skin is still slightly damp. So this is what we call a soak and seal method, and is specifically recommended by dermatologists for eczema management. When you shower, your skin absorbs water like a sponge, temporarily plumping up those outer skin cells. But the moment you step into dry air, that water starts to evaporate rapidly. So by applying Vaseline to damp skin, you're literally trapping all those absorbed water directly into the top layer of your skin, known as a stratum corneum, forcing it to stay where it's most needed. Now, this helps restore your skin barrier without the risk of reactions to complex ingredients. Finally, number 5 might surprise you because it goes against all traditional advices. We're talking about using Vaseline as a wound protector for minor cuts and burns. Now, for decades, we were told, let the cuts breathe and let it air dry. But modern medical research has completely changed that particular recommendation. Current evidence-based medicine shows that keeping minor wounds moist actually speeds up healing and significantly reduces scarring. So when a wound dries out, it forms a hard scab that the skin cells have to work around. New skin cells need to migrate across the wound to close it, and they move much more effectively through a moist environment than a crusty barrier. So when you apply a thin layer of Vaseline to a clean minor wound and then cover it up with a bandage, you're actually creating the optimal healing condition. The petroleum jelly acts as a protective barrier against bacteria and contaminants while maintaining the moisture level that allows for rapid cell migration. Now, this process is called moist wound healing and is now the gold standard to medical wound care. The scar reduction benefit is particularly impressive. Studies have shown that wounds healed in a moist condition develop significantly less noticeable scars. So to use this method safely, you need to first clean the wound thoroughly with soap and water, pat it dry gently, and apply a thin layer of Vaseline and then cover it up with a clean bandage. Change it daily and reapply fresh Vaseline every time. So before we wrap up, let's cover some important safety considerations when using Vaseline. While Vaseline is incredibly safe for most people, there are a few situations whereby you should definitely avoid them. First, never use petroleum jelly inside your nose or deep in your nostrils, as this can potentially cause something known as lipid pneumonia. If your skin is really acne prone, avoid applying directly over active breakouts as it can trap the bacteria underneath. Always apply to clean skin, and if you have a very reactive skin, do a patch test first. Now, most importantly, the wound care advice applies only to minor cuts and scrapes. Deep wounds, animal bites, puncture wounds, and severe burns or anything that shows signs of infection require proper medical attention. Don't just use the petroleum jelly. So there you have it. 5 scientifically backed ways to use Vaseline that goes far beyond basic moisturizing. From healing cracked heels overnight to preventing scars, this simple yet affordable product is truly a skincare powerhouse. And if this has helped you discover new ways to care for your skin, please hit that like button, subscribe for more evidence-based skincare advice, and let me know in the comments below which technique you're most excited to try. That's it from me, I'm Dr. Ingky, and remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay informed.